Hi everybody, here's Krystian from TeamworkCast.
And this is Nick from TeamworkCast.
And we are here with an exciting video, Netrunning with TeamworkCast. This is from a recent Chronos Protocol tour. Are you familiar with this one, Nick?
Chronos Protocol is the newer expansions, right?
Not quite, but it has.
Caught me.
It was a recent tournament series that was that went around in Europe. I think it's still going around in Europe, only in Europe, where there's a huge tournament and you can go there and you can win lots of prizes, and you can vote for which card will be printed next.
So it is sort of like the living card games from like Legend of the Five Rings or 7th Sea.
I'm not familiar with those, but yes, it is exciting to be able to modify what games will come out in the future. In this case, it is very much related to the future of Netrunner, and this one was organized by the store Highlander Games in Dortmund, and it took place on the 5th of April. And this is the first round. I've been randomly paired with an exciting gentleman whose nickname I only wrote down, which is Cremator. Cremator.
So the old L5R 7th Sea games, they would have tournaments, and then whoever won the tournament, that clan or that character would kind of determine what the next expansion was going to be.
So this one is not for winning, just for participation. You got to vote. And my opponent Cremator is playing HB, Engineering the Future, in this game. I am playing Andromeda. He will get 1 credit for the first thing he installs, and I am starting with a whopping hand of 9 cards.
You better win this quick, or I'm going to be upset.
Well, this will be a series of 2 exciting games. We will max out our allotted time. I will already spoil that. And my opponent installs 2 beautiful ice cards in front of R&D and HQ. And I think he gets a credit. Yeah, I think he got a credit. And
I like these classy card sleeves he's using.
Oh yeah, just plain white.
You're still unclear.
Yes, I am, Nick. I like the backs. I like the original backs, and I'm playing a sure gamble to get some monies. And the thing is, we already talked about this. I need to play 4 cards in order to not lose any cards. So I'm doing a dirty laundry run on the archives to get even more money.
There's a lot of pressure. I'm surprised that she's as popular as she is.
It was an experiment for me. I never played her before in the tournament. Well, I guess in the last tournament I played it, but this is a different deck from the last tournament we saw. I'm doing an inside job run on his hand because I think there will be agendas in there.
Or hope.
I'm actually getting a dice to randomly select a card, and it's a Sansan. Sansan, and I'm trashing the Sansan.
Well, there are worse things that you could have trashed. Or better. Yes.
I could have picked better cards, it's true, but having a Sansan out, trashed out very quickly is very good. And I'm getting out Armitage Code Busting, the money machine. It will last for 12 monies, and I can click it, and I will get 2 monies from it. Sweet. He installs something in a server.
Uh-oh.
And he gets 2 monies? I guess he gets 2 monies.
You have not played anybody who's played the Jinteki yet, have you?
Maybe I will in the future. Right now I'm playing against same old HB.
You know, the guy on the left, we're going to throw this out here right now. This is the worst thing that gamers do.
What?
He cannot stop mashing his leg on the floor.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it's a tense experience. I ran on this card that he installed there, and it was an Eve campaign, but I didn't trash it. I want him to spend the money to res it before I trash it. I want this to be like a economic disadvantage for him. Yes, lots of people are nervous. I also have to apologize that there's a lot of shaking going on, and it looks a little bit as if I filmed this with a potato. This is because we were
shaking his leg.
Well, it's not only that, the entire table was very shaky, and and also the lighting conditions weren't so great. So I'm getting out a code breaker. It is the Fairy code breaker. Are you familiar with Fairy, Nick?
I don't think so.
Fairy is a fairly new code breaker. It's a one-use code breaker, very efficient, but you can only use it only once. And my opponent reses Eve campaign at the beginning of his turn, so he gets all the stuff, all the monies immediately, and he installs ice to protect Eve campaign. Things are going swell for him. Not so great for me. I only have one code breaker. I can break one sentry, and then that's it.
Yeah. So you've adjusted your Andromeda deck. What is it supposed to do now?
It's a completely different Andromeda deck now. It is... I don't... it's doing things. It's running. I'm getting out a... you will see. I'm getting out a Crypsis, and I'm putting a token on it. Crypsis is this universal code breaker that can break.
Yes.
People told me I'm doing one thing wrong. I'm saying code breaker. I shouldn't say code breaker. I should say icebreaker.
Yeah, icebreaker.
So I ran on R&D and found an LE 1.0, and it stopped me. I didn't want to use Crypsis to break it, or didn't have the money.
Them virus tokens get expensive.
And yes, he installs yet another server. 2 eyes in front of that server. So you can already tell by the tokens that my opponent probably won a lot of tournaments already. Because the tokens he's using is something that you can get as a reward for winning a tournament.
You can also buy them from Broken Egg, right?
Yes, but in a discussion with him, I found out that he is actually a tournament player, not only in Netrunner but also in Magic. So if this was the Hunger Games, he would be one of the carriers. And we're just about to find out if I'm Katniss, or if I'm one of the dudes who have no face who die in the very first scene.
You may be the little girl.
Maybe even Ruth. Alright, so I'm running on the new server, and it is a Victor 2.0, a very complicated card which caused me a lot of suffering throughout the... it is a 2.0 Bioroid, so you need like 2 clicks in order to click yourself through it. And then I think there's still 1 click over. Those Bioroid cards are really, really complex. There's so many subroutines going on there. It's really, As I'm figuring out, I'm reading this card. Look at me, I'm just reading this card, like trying to get in all of the details there. Like,
so, whoa. Victor, this is a reference to Victor Frankenstein, right?
I don't know. Maybe, that could be. So he does brain. So the thing is, there's 2 things. One is end run. One routine is end run. The other one is trace. Starts a trace and gets a power counter on it if successful. And then those power counters can be used at any point to give me 1 brain damage. Very complicated thing. So I am using Crypsis to break it. I'm spending a lot of money to break this because he's strength 5. So I need to pump up Crypsis to 5. And then spend 2 tokens to break it. I just broke the end run routine, but I didn't broke the trace, so he gets a power counter.
Oh, man.
So he can now do brain damage at any point he wants. And he doesn't rest the second thing, and it is an accelerated beta test. I just scored a thing! Yeah!
Yeah! Early lead for Crush.
The investment paid off.
But so I like that they forced you onto a playmat. Is this by your decision?
No, they haven't forced me. I actually bought it voluntarily.
Oh, that's good.
Because I realized like sometimes it's difficult to pick off the cards off the table when it's like there is nothing between. And with playmats, it's much easier to pick up the cards off the table. And when I'm recording those, it's very easy to like adjust the camera if you know exactly where the playing field is.
Yeah.
So my opponent installed a card inside the server that I just hacked. And things are going peachy for him. Still hasn't used the brain damage token. So he can do brain damage whenever he wants now. He can end the game if I make the mistake of losing all my cards.
So I had thought that these were the Team Covenant tokens, but they're actually not the Team Covenant tokens.
The ones that he's using?
Yeah.
No, they are like from Fantasy Flight games. I'm clicking Armitage, and I'm running on his hand. Not exactly sure why I'm running on his hand. Maybe I'm trying to force him to res things. He shows me a shipment from San.
Uh-oh.
I'm reading the card because I forgot briefly what it is. It puts advancement counters on things. With my third click, I'm thinking what I do in my third click. I'm putting down, yes, Katie Jones. And I am putting money on Katie Jones. I really learned to love Katie Jones throughout this tournament.
I'm sure that eventually there's going to be a movie about Katie Jones.
I hope
or maybe
so.
They'll remake the Max Headroom series starring Katie Jones.
Oh, it would be great. I would pay a lot of money to... Oh, okay. Speaking of paying a lot of money, he advances and scores a project, the Vitruvius. That's actually the name of the guy from the Lego movie, isn't it?
I think so. I have not watched that movie yet.
You have to watch it. It's so good. But yeah, he doesn't do anything for him right now because he would have to over-advance it if he wanted to do something useful with it. Right now it's just a 2-point agenda. I am drawing a card with my first click. With my second click, I am... what am I doing? Oh, he makes he applies 1 brain damage to me, and he gets rid of a Sneak Door Beta. And I'm running on his hand, apparently. He reses an Eli again. And I have to think what to do. I could theoretically use 2 clicks to get through it. Will I do this?
This is intense.
Very intense game. I'm thinking a lot because this game is very complicated. Like I feel like Bioroids has a tendency to make things complicated. So I jack out.
Yeah.
I use my 1 click to get the last money from Armitage code busting, and I load up Katie Jones.
Man, there's a lot of discussion around Victor 2.0.
It's a very effective card, I feel.
Just at 5 strength, it is ridiculous.
It is very strong, but you can click through it. But then, of course, you lose a lot of clicks.
Yeah. And but you can only click out of 1 of those.
So he installs a card, and I make a run on his R&D, and I click myself through, but I don't see anything there. I have 1 click left. I guess I will use it for Katie Jones. Will I use it for Katie Jones? Come on, Krystian. Get money from Katie Jones.
So I think that playing against guys like this, especially early on in a tournament, is never very fun.
Yeah. It
like,
can be
you're a pro?
Soul crushing. But he was very polite, at least at the beginning. Later on, we're gonna see a situation which caused me a lot of stress because, you know, I'm here to have fun, and he's here to win, and those 2 goals crash with each other.
Yes, they do.
Yes, so he spent money. Oh no, he got money, and he replaced it with, because the green tokens he uses are the 5 credit tokens, and the orange token he uses are 1 credit tokens.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like about these tokens is that you can't just look at them for a number, because usually their numbers hidden by whatever it's sitting on top of.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you can read the other tokens either, but, you know. I'm getting to cards, I'm looking for something, I'm looking for a solution out of the situation. I feel underpowered as a runner. All of the cards that he presents to me are cards where I need to spend clicks to get through, which will break me down. So I'm looking for some kind of breaker, maybe a corroder, to get through the Elis. And maybe some kind of money thing. I don't know. It's kind of tough right now.
Yeah, it seems like he essentially is just sitting behind this massive wall that you can't get through.
Well, it's not like an impenetrable wall, but it's a very taxing wall. And also he's getting a ton of money. I mean, he's at 15 right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Now at 17, I'm having like this bad feeling in the stomach when the corporation has so much money.
He definitely had an optimal draw.
Yeah, look at this. So now he's icing up R&D like a pro. Like the pro he is.
So, tell me.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a spoiler.
Yeah.
Does he win the tournament?
No, actually he didn't. He got
good.
He got very far though, and I saw him on the next day because it was like a very crazy weekend of 2 of those tournaments on the same weekend. And so I saw him on the next day in Düsseldorf, and then he did even better than on this one.
Oh, that's good.
So yes, he's certainly a very capable player, friendly one as well. So I'm thinking, there's a lot of thinking going on. I'm like trying to assess the situation. This is I don't really know what to do right now. There is a card in the external server, in the server that is very difficult to get into. I'm doing an account siphon.
I think for me, I would probably just start jacking up Crypsis.
So I'm clicking through Eli. He loses 5 credits. I'm getting 10 credits, which is great for me. And I get 2 tags. I remove one of the tags. What I will do with the tags, I'm not really sure. There's 1 click left, so I cannot remove all of the tags. I use emergency shutdown to shut down Victor 2.0. But now I'm left with tags. And he, of course, uses this opportunity to trash my KD Jones. Ooh, and there was a lot of money on there. Not good.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate thing.
But, I got the money from the account siphon, so that's good. And also, I got him to de-res and ice. I kind of trying him to waste money. So, because a corporation without money is a very easy corporation to play against. Sadly, this is not the case at this point. Yeah, like it's interesting because when you first start playing this game and you see this ice that people can click through, you feel like, oh, what is this? It's like totally penetrable, But as a runner, if you start clicking those things, you will get very, very slow all of a sudden because you do nothing this turn where you click through a thing. So he uses biotic labor to get more clicks, and he installs something and scores it right away. It's again a Project Vitruvius. So he's at 4 points. I'm still at 2 points.
It's such a great agenda because it's for every counter over, you get a card in your hand, right?
Yeah, but only from the archives. So you can get a card back that you already played. Yeah. But still, it's very good. And if you don't want to use it, most people don't use it actually, this ability, then it's still like a 2 points for 3 advancement.
Yeah.
So, first click for me. As a response. Thinking about this, still not sure. Do I still have the tags? No, apparently I removed it last turn. Getting cards. Drawing up.
Man, I would just be throwing everything onto Crypsis.
Yeah, the problem is Crypsis is expensive. Because Crypsis starts at strength 0. So I'm using Crypsis only as an emergency situation only. And most of the servers here have 2, maybe 3 ice there. Alright, so I got a Corroda out. Sweet. The Corroda is a very, very efficient breaker that gets me through barriers. And there are 2 barriers already out, which is great. And I'm discarding a Plascrit because I don't think there will be something going on. I don't think there will be meat damage. He installed something in a server where previously there was a Eve campaign. I'm kind of like looking back at this game as I probably should have just run on things. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Instead of putting other cards, I think you should have devoted all of your resources to Crypsis and just kept trying to pressure him.
I think the problem also I'm having here is I really have very little money. So I'm doing an inside job to get in the server, a new server. I found an Adonis campaign there. I trashed it. Because I really want him to have very little money. I'm doing a dirty laundry run on his archives to get more money. I'm doing a small mistake with the amount of money I do there. Anyway.
Well, you can sneak a 5 in there. What?
No, the problem is like when you put back a 5er token into the place where the 1er token are, then sometimes I grab for a 1 token and get a 5 token instead. All right, I put out a Mr. Lee, which we see in a second, and he installs 2 more cards and gets a credit. So now there's lots of... No, 3 cards. He installs... No, 2 cards. One in the server I just destroyed and in a new server. Mr. Lee is a very interesting card I started to really appreciate. You draw 2 cards and you can put one of those cards... or you have to put one of those cards at the bottom of your library. So you basically are more selective with the cards that you draw. Very effective. Especially if you're looking for that one specific card in your deck. Very, very effective. So I'm using Mr. Lee now. So I'm drawing 2 cards, deciding to put one in the top because it's obviously useless. I decided very quickly. And I get to keep the other one. So I'm checking my library, my discard pile, my stack or heap. I don't know. Is it stack or heap? I think it's heap. Stack is the stack is the draw. Stack is the draw pile. Thinking. What will I do, Krystian? Using Mr. Lee again. So now when you have Mr. Lee, it's like very addictive to just get through your entire deck and you know, suck out all the succulent cards out of there.
Succulent cards.
see the
emphasis on suck.
See the alliteration I did there. Yes, a lot of thinking going on. And you see probably already the kind of confrontation we will have in a second. A lot of thinking, a lot of drawing. Some friendly banter going on between us. Same old thing comes out. He reses the pad campaign. Oh, the pad campaign. I hate the pad campaign. And he reses yet another the Donis campaign. I don't know. I forgot which one it is already. He has so many campaigns going on.
Well, he has biodroids.
Well, but he's like a rich Hasbioroid dude. I'm trying to like make him poor, but it doesn't work. His deck is just full of money-making things.
You just need to run some negative campaigns on him. Like,
yeah.
Hey,
account siphon.
Your product has a massive security hole that people have been abusing for years.
Well, you're talking about bad publicity, something we're going to see in the future. But right now, I played same old thing, which is really great because it allows me to play things from my discard pile. And I will do that in the future. So I'm getting more money, and I'm using a sure gamble to get even more money. I'm moneying up. He installed something in the server, and there are 2 cards in the server now. So one of them is an upgrade, the other one is probably an agenda or something else.
I'd imagine it's a Sensen and a agenda.
I thought so too that it is Sensen. We're gonna find out soon enough because I will be probably making a run on there.
Yeah, it does have a very big "please come get me" thing, but he has so much money.
So yeah, we're going to do something about this. I'm doing yet another account siphon on him. I'm clicking through. No, I'm using the Cremator to get through Eli, which is a costly thing, but I'm doing this. It costs me what, like 4 credits to get through Eli. Which, considering that it costs only 3 credits to res Eli, that's kind of like very cool deal.
Yeah.
For the corporation. So yeah, I'm getting all this money. He loses all this money, and I'm getting 2 tags. And then I'm removing the 2 tags. And that was my turn. So he installs a new card in a 3rd server of his.
Man, he's just going
He's just going to town with all them servers, and he advances 2 times.
Uh-oh.
So this might be an agenda, or it might be a trap. We just don't know. But if this, that's the problem. If this was like a 3-2 agenda, he could have scored it all in 1 turn.
Yeah, and I mean, well, the thing is you haven't seen any bombs yet.
Yeah, and if we also thought that it might be a Sensen in his server, so this Sensen would have allowed him to score this immediately, whatever it is, probably. So I don't think it is an actual agenda. Alright, so thinking about what to do now. As you can tell, it's kind of like it's difficult to read what he's about to do. He's just getting lots of money. He's installing random cards in the server. Urgh.
He can do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah, he's like stressing me out. So I'm using Mr. Lee to get some answers.
He's literally a corporation that you may not be able to take down.
I'm using same old thing, the precious same old thing, to replay an inside job.
Yeah.
And then I'm running this server. So if he reses the first ice, of course I'm bypassing this first ice. So I have to, he reses the first ice, so I have to deal with the second ice, which I guess he will res. He's thinking about this.
Should I bother? Who cares?
Well, he already committed. He already resed the first ice. If he doesn't want me to counter the second ice, then he shouldn't have resed the first ice. But he's still thinking about this, not quite sure. Quite a watch on his wrist.
That is quite a watch.
That watch can, like, measure time like nobody's business.
It's not what it's for.
It's like a Batman watch. Thinking about this hard. See, it's not just a complex game for me, it's also a complex game for him. He's doing some maths in his head, probably. Doing math. Ah, yes. Oh, man.
It's just so intense. You know, it's not
alright,
as
so he
intense.
reses it. It's an Ichi. It's an Ichi 1.0. And then he reses a corporate troubleshooter. Ah. To increase the strength of Ichi. Ichi is regularly a strength 4 sentry. But now it is a strength 8 because he invests 4 money into it. So yeah, it's very expensive for me to break this. Out of the range of my ferry, I think.
Yeah.
So but I will still get through it. I will just get trash programs and get drain damage and everything. I only have 1 click to spend, so I can break 1 subroutine with a click. The Ichi trashes 1 program, trashes another program, and does a trace that, if successful, will do brain damage. I can get rid of 1 of the 3 things. And I'm considering what to get rid of. I cannot break the entire thing, so I can just use the last click to break 1 thing. Alright, so I'm preventing 1 of the programs to get trashed. So I accept a brain damage, and I accept a program to get trashed.
It's just at this point, it's like, please win so we can play again.
For some reason, he checks my discard pile, maybe to see what kind of programs are in there already.
Mind games.
Something fell on the floor. His hand fell on the floor. Probably. Yeah. See, this is the part when he took a secret card from underneath the table.
Pocket agenda.
Nah. So the ferry has to go, which is kind of a weird choice, because the ferry would go anyway if I used it.
Yeah, but now he's sort of trying to... I think he's trying to control your resources by forcing you to deal with Crypsis.
I guess.
Which, I guess personally... I think personally I would have been pumping the hell out of him anyway, but...
So we're doing the trace. I'm not sure what kind of trace it is, but I think I'm paying myself free so I don't get any brain damage. I'm scoring the efficiency committee.
Oh, good.
That was a difficult agenda to score, and I'm kind of confused why he didn't score it more early. Because efficiency commentary, let me see, is it's a 4-2 agenda.
4-2.
So he couldn't have scored it in one turn, so he really needed 2 turns to score it. And the second card would turn out not to be Sansan, but this corporate troubleshooter thing. So I'm using Mr. Lee again. I think he just got money, I think, on his turn, because he lost a lot of money in this action.
Poor buddy.
Well, all this money making finally paid off. He was able to do a very, very tough run for me there. But, you know, none of his... Just the first card in his servers actually stops and something. Revealed what I got there. I got something on my hand, which may or may not have been... same old thing. That was the first click. I'm counting my clicks, trying to figure this out. This is a very stressful game. We are both even. Both at 4 points. Getting a credit. I'm making a run on this outer server. It is an EVE campaign. Yet another one. How many EVE campaigns have we seen? Like, that's the second EVE campaign, and I think we saw 2 Adonis campaigns. He's just campaigning his...
You know, maybe he just likes attractive men. You can't... No.
Or people. Like, EVE campaign is a woman.
Oh, that's true. He's an equal opportunity. He just loves beauty.
So, I think that's the third Adonis campaign we see now. So there's another campaign there. Just saying. Just saying.
Just chill out with the Adonis, man.
Man, he's like really into beauty products. What are even those campaigns for? They are like for bioroids, right?
For genes, of course.
Or maybe genes. All right, I'm running on the Adonis campaign. Oh, there's an interesting ice. It's a next bronze. So the next bronze strength is equal to the amount of other bronze ices out currently. So it's kind of like if you have more of them, then they become stronger. But on its own, it's just a 1 strength code gate. And I don't have any code gate breakers. I do have Crypsis. But using Crypsis would take away money from me, and I would be able to trash that thing. But I guess I got him to rest things, so that's good. I'm using yet another Mr. Lee to get 2 more cards. Thinking about this hard.
Man, you know, I had figured that he would have had this in the bag already, but this is the same type of game that we had, what was it, like 3 games ago? Where nothing was happening because he wasn't drawing, or you weren't drawing agendas.
Some Netrunner games may seem like this.
Yeah.
That you know, there seems to be no clear progress, but in fact there is like a duel of the minds going on right now. There are like lightnings of psionic power between our brains. We're both nose bleeding, veins popping on our heads. Alright, so there's another ice being installed in front of HQ, which should tip me off that maybe there's something valuable in HQ.
Yeah. New tropics. There's many new tropics being...
Or maybe he just got a new card and he just wanted to install it.
Have you ever run into new tropics?
What is new tropics?
They are smart drugs, memory enhancers, cognitive enhancers. They are perhaps not real. Or they don't work, but they are used in esports often. Alright,
I'm running on R&D without new tropics. and I encounter a roto turret. Which is really, really nasty because roto turret will trash another program. So I'm using Crypsis to break. I think I'm doing. I'm breaking this, and I'm continuing. And I encounter a swordsman. Ouch! This is really annoying. So this is the one encounter when I learned what AI icebreakers are.
What are AI icebreakers?
Crypsis is an AI icebreaker, and I cannot use Crypsis to break the Swordsman. So, and what Swordsman does if I don't break it is it trashes an AI program.
Oh no!
So Crypsis got trashed. I got a 1 net damage. I continue on, and I eventually even get through the server because I can use. Do I get through the server? Yes, I get through the server. And I see a pad campaign. All of this has been for naught. I gave myself a chance to score an agenda. It wasn't a very effective chance because I lost my Crypsis. But yes, AI icebreakers are icebreakers that break every type of ice.
Yeah.
So Crypsis is one, Atman is one. There's a number of icebreakers that are more universal, and they are the AI icebreakers. And Swordsman is kind of like a ice against those. So he installed. Look at this. He has 2 servers there on there, 2 unprotected servers. I'm left only with a corroder. I guess he rests a bunch of ice there, so that's good.
He just has something out there. Does he have 2 more servers out there?
Ah, yes. What will I do? Just realized that that there is a second server there.
How interesting.
Yes. Alright. I got a Dirty Laundry out. I think I'm doing it on archives, I guess. Why is the Dirty Laundry just lying there?
Maybe you're having a discussion about it?
I just forgot. I think I just forgot it. I'm using Mr. Lee to get more cards. Trying to figure out where could be the agendas. How could I stop him from scoring agendas? He gets monies. Oh, I forgot to get the money from the So that's why I was wondering. So I forgot to get the money from the Dirty Laundry. I now got it. He installed something behind his bronze eyes, which is now not accessible to me. He finally achieved what is very important for a corporation, to prevent me from getting into the servers. I only can get into servers behind.
So, okay, there is a card down here that has no ice on it at all.
Yes, 2 cards even.
Okay. Why aren't you running on those?
I think I might have run on one instead of the archives. I think it was a pad campaign.
Okay.
So we were discussing about how much money we have. I forgot. He's kind of stressed out. I'm also stressed out. There is a... he rezzed a Jackson Howard to draw more cards, and he's discarding cards.
Well, I hope he drew some agendas.
Now comes the confrontational moment. He's stressing me out. He's reminding me that we only have 30 minutes left, and it's still the first game. And I'm like, this is usually the part where I just completely break apart, because I feel just so bad, because this is this guy, you know, he wants to win this tournament, and I'm like this noob who's just stressing about the situation because he cannot remember the cards, and I'm like, ah! I am the most horrible person in the world.
I don't know. For an experienced player, while these games are frustrating, if you don't teach them, you know, if you don't give them a chance, you won't have people to play with anymore.
Yes, I guess. But still, you know, it's frustrating for an experienced player who, you know, wants to get somewhere in a tournament to not get enough points from a sure victory just because the other guy was just, you know, taking his sweet time to read the cards and like obsessing about individual moves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm using a special order to get myself a code breaker. And you can tell that I'm not really familiar with my deck at this point yet, so I'm not really sure what to get. But yes, I find I'm kind of stressing about this because I thought I had more code breakers in there that were useful, but I decided to go with the Knight, which is one of the new or the more recent series of Kaisa breakers who are like modeled by chess pieces.
Ooh.
And the Knight is actually turned out to be the most useful of them. You can kind of host him on ice with a click, and then he can break any type of ice that he's hosted on. Almost any other, like everything up to strength 7. So I'm using it to host it on... Where will I host it? Krystian? Yes! Good choice. I'm hosting it on the Ichi 2.0. And with last click... Last click. Thinking about this, counting how much it will cost, because it costs 2 credits per routine, per subroutine, to get through that ice. So it will cost me 4 credits to get through Ichi 2.0. Thinking about running on the last click there. Wouldn't be able to break the second Ichi, that's the problem. I'm getting a card. Chicken out there.
It's okay, you can check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So the maximum cards you can have it's 60, right?
In a deck?
Yeah.
It depends on the identity you use.
Ah, that's right, that's right.
So he did the thing that is a countermeasure against those kind of Kaisa icebreakers, which is he just trashed the ice the Kaisa thing was installed on, and the Kaisa thing then just disappears.
Huh. That's useful.
And then he installed something else on there. Yeah, I mean, but from the perspective of a runner, it's not bad, because, you know, the ice that was causing you troubles is then gone.
Yeah.
So that's, to some extent, that's even better as if you had the icebreaker hosted on it. So I'm checking what kind of stuff I can get with same old thing out of my discard pile. Not really sure what to get there. This game doesn't seem like there is a solution in sight. I forgot to put a special order on my discard pile. Both of us are very tense at this moment. The shaking is not just a table, man.
this is brain waves going.
This is brain waves.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'm deciding what to do. First click. Getting money. Good thing.
Money's good, you know. I like it.
Yes. Second click. Come on, Krystian. You can do it.
I have faith in you.
You can do it. Thinking. Those brain cells activated using probably around 40% of my brain capacity at this point. I'm like limitless.
I could see everything. You are Sam Neill in Event Horizon.
Indeed. So I'm just getting lots of money, and he installs something in the server. And it is a Sansan! And you can see what is coming now.
Ah.
And then he uses shipment from Sansan even, and then he scores an accelerated beta test. So now he's at match point. The next agenda for him wins. I'm still at 4. Ugh.
You can come back. You can come back.
Well, he has a rest Sensen on there, so I need enough money to get rid of that Sensen first. So I need to get in a server, have enough money to trash the Sensen. It's just getting worse and worse now.
Things aren't looking up for Team Zizu.
And he has 8 money, so he has lots of money. He has enough money to score things out of hand. This might be my last turn. Even though I'm not entirely aware of this, probably. Because there's just so... You know, the thing is, like, when you're watching this on YouTube, it seems like, oh, it's obvious to do what to do. But when you're on there and this guy is telling you to hurry up,
yeah,
and you have all this pressure on you, and you're like, you know, you just don't know what to do. So I'm just getting money to hopefully score a Sensen, to trash a Sensen next turn, and then he scores something out of hand. He just doesn't even care. He just shows, like, oh yeah, I have an agenda here. I won. And yeah, he won. So this is game 1 for him, goes on him. We still have a couple of minutes time for the second game, so we set up for the second game. And yes, what did you think about this game, Nick?
So, for tournament rules, one of you would have had to have won within an hour for either one of you to advance?
So the rules are, if we run out of time, there is, they say time, and then the current player completes the turn, and there is 2 more turns afterwards.
Okay.
Then, after the 2 turns, if one player has more points than the other player, that player wins. But that win is not doesn't give you as many points if it was like a 7 agenda point win or something like this.
Okay.
So it's a timed win, it's called. And so the normal win gives you, I think, 2 points, and a timed win only gives you 1 point.
Okay. Well, let's see.
And if it's draw, if both players are even on points, then it's both players gets 1 point. But again, for like a player who wants to get far in a tournament, he kind of wants to have the 2 points instead of the 1 point. So that's why, you know, stalling or like taking a lot of time in a tournament is not good for a player who wants to get very far.
Yeah.
Yes, so we are switching sides now. He is playing Gabe, the criminal identity from the core set. He gets 2 credits for every first run on HQ every turn. And I'm playing GRNDL, which is pretty much the same deck we saw on our last video. This is an identity from Weyland, a recent identity from Weyland, that starts out with a bunch of credits.
10 credits and 1 bad publicity.
And indeed 1 bad publicity. So we're talking about, you know, how runners can maybe, you know, have campaigns against the corporation. That's basically bad publicity.
I wonder what neothermal development is.
The idea is there's a lore theory that they are doing geothermal fracking. But they're doing the fracking not to generate energy, but they're doing it to generate like tsunami waves, so they get cheaper real estate prices.
That's interesting.
That's very, very cruel as well, and that fits quite well to Weyland. I love it.
I say, this is Weyland to a T.
Yes, yes. So we draw up very quickly and we begin the game. It is the second game in the first round of Chronos Protocol Tour. I'm installing ice in front of my HQ.
RTFC. What does that stand for?
Read the friggin' card. You can tell that this player he's not messing around.
But he got mad at you when you read the card. Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's maybe why. See, he's not consistent. No. You know, it's like read the friggin' manual.
Yeah. Which no one ever does.
Yeah, why should you?
You can pay someone else to read it for you.
And sometimes, like, the stuff on the cards is not, you know, not unambiguous. Alright, so install something without protection. He installs Sneak Door Beta, uses it to access my hand. He finds the Jackson Howard and trashes him.
Goodbye, Jackson Howard.
And he gets a Plascrete out. Ah, there goes my opportunity to kill him.
Oh, man.
Plascrete defense against meat damage, and this one prevents the meat damage, so he doesn't get meat damage. And I score an agenda right there. I just played an agenda naked, and it's right there. It's Vulcan cover up, and he gets 2 meat damage from the Vulcan cover up, but so he discards 2 cards. So I'm playing a hedge fund. It is 4 monies for me, costs me 5 monies, a very standard, very regular money card. A lot of thinking going on after this first game. This really drenched me of my mental energy. I don't know how you feel about this.
Well, I mean, with that sort of pressure, when a game is going that long, because you couldn't do anything to him and he wasn't drawing anything to win.
Yeah,
it's sort of like at that point, you just sort of it becomes more and more impatient.
Yeah, and I kind of like feel like, you know, we have to get this over very quickly now, because I kind of wasted a lot of money for him. So yeah, I'm installing things, and he gets Project Atlas out of my hand, and then he runs on my hand again, and he sees an archer on my hand. So yeah, he scored 2 points, and I scored 1 point at this point.
This is a fast game.
It is a fast game. It is a fast deck, and you know, after the last game we shown, we saw me struggling with the deck a little bit. So in between, I really sat down in Octagon, and I really did a lot of learning with this deck, and I understand a little better how this works. So me, for example, playing this agenda naked in first turn, that was like the result of this learning.
Yeah.
And I advanced something in the server, and he is challenged to run on this now. He accesses my hand again. I'm kind of like not doing anything about him being able to access both R&D and HQ. I'm kind of riding it out. He gets another Plascrete out. This is very bad for me, because Weyland is usually good at killing people with meat damage, and Plascretes are a very good defense against this. So yeah, like I have to give up all my hopes of killing him with meat damage and have to score agendas. And it's quite remarkable that he doesn't have any code breakers out. So I'm icing up, finally I'm icing up R&D, and I'm icing up archives, so he doesn't get any free runs on my hand and on my R&D anymore. Oh, so he got Mr. Lee out, the card I used before, and he does the Mr. Lee thing where he gets 2 cards and looks at one of them, both of them, and puts one on the bottom of the stack. He gets out an alternate art, Katie Jones.
Katie Jones.
The good Katie Jones. And I'm scoring an agenda! Blah!
Oh man, you're doing... Yeah!
Geothermal fracking for 2 points. Now I can even get, like, money whenever I want. It's really good.
So, in terms of tournament rules, if he wins and you win and you run out of time, what happens?
So if I win and he wins, if he wins once and I win once, and we both get 2 points.
So okay.
If I win by running out of time,
yeah,
then I get 1 point and he gets 2 points because he won previously. So I doing like a really great money turn. I play Beanstalk, then Hedge Fund, and then Restructure, which is... all of them are money cards, so I money up like a madman. Look at me, I am at 19 credits at this point.
You are a madman.
And of course, I could have used my geothermal fracking if I needed even more money, so I'm like filthy rich right now. Filthy rich, bad publicity, that's how you want to be as Weyland. Iced up everything, so he's kind of forced to get icebreakers out. I'm installing another thing in front of my server and installing something inside the server.
Yeah, I want to see you guys. I want to see you win. Come on. Come on, Krystian. You're going to do it.
This game is going much quicker than the previous one. I'm rushing into victory.
This is your hour. This is your moment.
There is not much time left in this round. He gets money on Katie. Katie.
You've got 5 minutes, or 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You can do it.
I don't have too much time, yes. He discards a sneak door. He's really a sneak door player. He has 2 sneak doors in his deck. Wow.
I'm still going to say the broken egg thingies are much better.
We're gonna see them in our next round, but in this round we see just those. So mandatory draw for me. My turn begins.
I want to hear a debate. I want to see a debate in the comments of this video. Tell me which tokens you like.
Alright, I realized that I forgot to spend money on an install. I spend it now.
That's good of you. He didn't call you on it?
No, he didn't. Well, this happens all the time. I mean, if you analyze those videos closely, you will see so many mistakes.
Yeah. There aren't 4 referees sitting around making sure you all do the right thing.
No. So I'm advancing, I'm getting more cards, and I'm advancing this one card with 1 click. So he has a kind of like a hint that this might be yet another agenda.
And you have enough money to res stuff. You're looking good.
Yeah.
You're gonna win.
It looks very good for me. He's just getting through his deck, getting all of the cards, using one after another, and then blackmail. Blackmail means you can only play it if the corporation has bad publicity, and if it is true, then I cannot res any eyes while he's doing a run.
Oh no!
So he just bypasses all of my eyes with blackmail and gets into my server without me being able to do anything about this. I was shocked. I was shocked because I didn't think anybody would be playing such a situational card. But there he is, one player. He found blackmail in his deck, and it was very effective indeed. So I'm getting more money because what else could I do? I forgot to put the tokens on geothermal fracking, so I put them on right now to indicate how much money I can get from geothermal fracking. Each of these counters is 7 monies worth and 1 bad publicity worth. But as we see, the bad publicity has caused me some great distress right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a very cool card, by the way, this blackmail. It's one of the more recent cards that really punishes bad publicity for the first time. So I'm doing a C-Source, which usually is the thing that kills the players. I'm paying money to give him a tag. It starts a trace, and if the trace is successful, then he's getting a tag. I'm doing a trace in such a way that he can spend all of his money to prevent the trace, and he does that. So he's penniless at this point.
He's penniless, but I definitely think it was money well spent.
Well, if he didn't pay the money, then he would have gotten a tag, and I would be able to trash his resources.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that. Also, he needs the clicks to remove tags that he would use to remove the tags for other things, such as the 2 same old things that he just played. And of course, the same old things will enable him to replay the blackmail that he just played on me. Which I may or may not completely realize at this point. I am a little bit brain damaged after this long fight. I'm checking the stuff that he has in his library to see what kind of stuff he could bring on with same old thing. I don't know if I realize that the blackmail is in there. I don't know, man.
You're like me. All it takes is one thing to go wrong, and you're like you start self-defeating.
Yeah, and also like the blackmail threw me off. I just never seen this card before. And it is very effective against this deck. It's like the answer to my deck, because I start with 1 bad publicity and I have no way of removing bad publicity. So I have bad publicity on my whole game, so blackmail is always effective with my deck. I have no ways of resing this ice because he has to actually make a run on the server for me to res ice. So he can get into every server. Of course, the answer to blackmail is for me to set up traps for him.
You can truly be a terrible, horrible corporation.
Yeah.
I've yet to really see a corporation that is built around like a theme. Every time I see just kind of the personnel inside of the corporation is the thing that matters for their play style.
So this is an interesting play. Now I install 2 cards, and he uses the blackmail to get into this server, and he gets an agenda, 1-point agenda, and then he uses second click to run on the second card, and it is another agenda.
Man, you were shining like a shiny demon.
Yeah, so that last play, to explain it, because it seems like, why would you play the agenda naked? So the idea was to put an agenda in the server, because I knew that he would make a run on the server. And if he found an agenda, then I thought he would maybe think that the second card was some kind of trap. But he called me on that.
Oh, he's using the Ultra Pro double deck box.
Yes, he is. It was a very successful game for him. Even though we were taking so much time, he achieved his victory, so that's great for him. He was actually a very polite gamer after all. There was lots of very friendly banter, so I enjoyed this game a lot. It was a very stressful game, for sure. But, you know, the drama is kind of the reason why I like to play Netrunner. It's like everything is like so tense, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed this game. We will be back in our next episode with the second round of this tournament, when you can see how I progressed. I hope you will join us next time. And until then, hack the planet!
Hack the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Hack it.
Shit on me.